We are live here on TubeSpanner, and I am joined with Danielle. Danielle,
Hello.
what? How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I am good. I'm excited to talk about how to make amazing YouTube titles that get views, and
You too.
also excited to just be chatting with you here today. If people don't know, let's go ahead and do a quick intro. Who are we? Starting with you, Danielle.
My name's Danielle. I am the founder, CEO, and lead developer for TubeSpanner.
And I am Andrew Can, a guy that keeps getting involved with YouTube tools because he loves helping out folks.
I
So
do.
with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. And the first thing we're going to be taking a look at is a couple of the things that have changed in TubeSpanner, which immediately will help us go right to what we are promising in our live stream titles. So let's go ahead and open up YouTube. So this is our YouTube view. We're going to click on TubeSpanner. Now, if you've not used TubeSpanner before, it is a free browser extension as well as a very powerful website dashboard that you can download via the link in the description down below. This weekend, we're actually, and I'll go back to side by side, we're doing a deal. So, Danielle, do you want to tell folks about the deal they could get?
I certainly do. So we're offering 30% off our annual plans for Labor Day. LD25 is the code. We'll put a link as well in the description. 30%. This is new tool, new features, good stuff to show. And now is a good time. If you think about starting your channel, September's always been a good season to get amongst it. So, yeah.
And if you're watching this in the future, we're also going to have a discount code in those comments for you in the replay that you can get a discount. So whether you're watching now or in the future, don't worry, there'll be value. So we're going to go ahead. I mean, 30% off is really good. They can also have a 30-day free trial if you've never given it a shot. So I see we already have someone in the comments saying, I'm using it right now.
Great.
That comes from Trinidadian living in Finland. So thank you for using it. So Danielle, are you ready to get into TubeSpanner?
Well, I'm familiar with it, but why not? Let's do it.
So right off the bat, if you haven't used TubeSpanner in a while, one of the newer things is you might notice that we officially now blur the background between YouTube and the tool just to make it a little easier to see. I will note that I'm very zoomed into the tool for this demo. It is not this big in actuality, just in case you're wondering. But we're going to start on some of the newer features here today. So we have Home Run and the Ideation Suite. So Danielle, as I click on Ideation Suite, why don't we go through kind of what we're seeing here?
Sure. So there's a couple of things you're going to see here. First of all, it gives you one of the things we often see people ask if you go on Nick's channel or Daniel or any of the
or this channel
or this channel anywhere. You will see people asking, what videos should I make? And that's there's a thing with YouTubers or anybody, you procrastinate. It's called if only I had a hammer, if only I had the idea, if only I knew what to do. So one of the best ways to know what to do is have a guide, get something started. Now, if you have no channel content whatsoever, then you'll just get a blank canvas of ideas. If you have channel content, it'll learn your audience, and then you can get tailored content, tailored video ideas. But the idea is it's a starting point. Doesn't mean it's what you should do, but it gets you started. And there's several steps along that process until you get a video that's a good idea and good for you as well. So it's a starting point. It's like any task. You break it down into smaller chunks, and suddenly the task becomes much easier. And that's what the video ideas is.
And the way we do this is through, if you have data, through the audience tab where you can see most views. So this is specific for my YouTube channel, Andrew Can, but I can see here aspirations. It's identified my most viewed audiences, aiming to build a credible and professional online presence through YouTube. That's spot on. Gain verification status and produce high quality content that is accessible. So I definitely agree with this, and it makes sense for my audience that, has watched my most viewed videos. These are all things, especially improving audio content, mastering live streaming. All of this makes sense. And it's doing that by analyzing your channel when you set it up with TubeSpanner. So maybe we can talk a little bit about how that kind of works.
Yeah, sure. So there's this is I don't want to get too confused. Hi. I'm waving at everyone. I see. Is that Trey?
You don't want to get too.
So yeah, hey Trey. So you get what happens here is you've got two audiences, ideally. There's who's currently watching, and there's who you want to be watching. Okay. So we start off by showing you who's currently watching. And if you're reaching your right audience, then you've got nothing more to do. You're off to the races. But if you find, hang on, I got a lot of people watching who aren't going to help me build the channel I want, then you can also build a target audience. And TubeSpanner will then tailor its suggestions to meet that target audience. If the target audience and your current audience could be the same thing, and a lot of people get confused over this point, and I don't want to labor it too much, but it's who's watching now, who you want to be watching.
Yeah.
So,
No, that makes sense. So current audience is who you already have currently watching, and your target audience is who you ideally want watching. And you can
yes.
build that out in TubeSpanner through the extension it's coming. So that's one of those exciting things we're working on.
Yeah.
So
So right now, I think we've only just connected this channel, so you might start getting some fairly generic video ideas. But once TubeSpanner learns your channel, then it'll start making very tailored suggestions for you, for what you want to do.
and
What
the reason we
what
did it that way is just to give you a true, like, if you're brand new out of the box, so that you could see what the experience is. So as I kind of use the tool and I use it more, it'll have a better definition. So
yeah,
I
TubeSpanner
think,
learns about you as you use it. The more you do with it, it's like a history. It knows what you want. You can actually when you first connect your channel, it asks you what you want to achieve. There's some suggestions you can put in. The more you use TubeSpanner over the first few days and weeks, it learns about you and will tailor itself as you go.
and speaking about learning about you, we'd love to learn more about what kind of channel you do in the comments down below, whether you're watching live or in the replay. We have live with us Trey, who just joined, so shout outs to Trey, Trinidadian living in Finland. Thank you for joining us as well. So let's go ahead and take a look now that we've kind of discovered, what the audience tab is. Let's go to video ideas. And so similar to those, targets you mentioned, you have current and target. I want to make a new video for who's currently watching. And maybe I want to do this for who's most engaged with my content right now. Now, as we mentioned, because I just rehooked this for this demo, it might give me some generic ones, but let's see what we get. So we have most engaged as it's loading. And one thing I also want to note is that a lot of what we're doing here today, you should be trying as well. You can do it yourself. So looking here, the cool thing about this is, as I see, we have the working title. And if I want more information, I can click on this plus, and then maybe you can explain a little bit, what's the difference between brief and method here,
Okay,
Daniel?
so a brief is basically what the video is. It's a very quick summary of what the video is about. And as you can see here, it's a video which will explore key habits to adopt for personal growth and success. So it's like the crib note for the title. So the title is a working title. You will, all of these features get to be workshopped, but the working title is what the video title is likely to be. The brief is what the video is, a very, very quick summary of what the video is. And then the method is really what's the value? What will somebody get from that? And it gives you an idea of what you're going to do when you shoot the video. So what you're looking at here is this a video that you want to create? And if so, then you can go to the next step. If not, you keep on checking.
And looking here, there are some, again, this is a more general one, but I think there are some, like, people ask me how to be confident on camera. So that kind of goes into public speaking. And maybe this is an idea that came from here that can get me going. And sometimes all we need is a springboard, right? So to that point, provide tips and strategies to improve public speaking skills. Makes a lot of sense to me. And then for the method, I like how you called it the value. And, like, I think that's so clear. Like, it is what value the audience gets. Unlock secrets to confidence in engaging public speaking with practical advice and techniques to conquer your fears and captivate your audience. So I actually really like this idea. And I think, I love how we can do more titles for this idea or rate this title. So what are the difference between these two before I click on them? Or should I just click on them and go?
You can crack on. So basically what happens is the first one is give me some more ideas similar to this, but some titles. So we're going to keep this video, but give me some more title suggestions. The next button is you're happy with that title. Now we want to go and workshop it and really nail that title for the video you want to create. This is really getting into the core of our video, this whole stream today is, because that's, I mean, to be fair, that's not a bad title right now. If you come, out of the box, that might be all you need, and then off we go. But let's double check, because we all want to know that we're on the right page when it comes to making our titles. There's a lot of uncertainty, so it's good if you can just review that and workshop it and sanity check that it's what you want to do.
And, I like that you said I could see more from this idea. And I mentioned how it's close, but not perfect. So let's go more titles for this idea. And as that loads, it's going to go into our title suggestions feature, which, again, we came already within under 10 minutes. And again, a bit of that was intro. We've gone from, what do we want to make to video ideas to now we're working on titles, right? And so here is where it gets even more interesting, right? Because it's taking that title we like and it's building it out in different ways, right? So similar here, I see we have brief and then we have description. So the brief is a comprehensive guide for beginners looking to improve their public speaking skills. Description, learn the essential tips and techniques to boost your confidence and become a proficient public speaker. And then we have home run, which we'll talk about in a bit. But let's say I really like this idea. I could then generate a script to then help us go in and go deeper here. I see that we have people coming in from Nick's stream. Hello, Magic Flying Potato. Really good to see you. Hello, Nick Nimmin. Great to see you. It is a raid, Monique. So since we have people just joining us, we'll go ahead from the top. Welcome. We are talking about TubeSpanner and how you can use it to, as the stream title says, make amazing YouTube titles that, get views. So TubeSpanner is a free tool. We're doing a Labor Day sale, so you can check the description for all that great information. We're using the browser extension here today. 30% off.
Whole of your Earth percent.
And so once you download TubeSpanner, you'll get into the TubeSpanner dashboard. We started with what is known as the ideation area, and we went, and this is how it all works. So quick overview, if you're just joining, because I see we have 36 folks now. This lets you either make a target audience, which is people you want to watch, and then we have 3 audiences by default if you have content up already, which are your most recent, most views, and most engaged. If you don't have any of that here, what it will do is it will give you blank ideas, as we can see here. Where the title's at says Nick Nimmin. Nick Nimmin, they're on screen. So I just re-authenticated my account so that for this demo, we'd get a true new experience. So I can't get rid of the data I already have, but some of the ideas you might see in the stream might just be a little generic because it hasn't had the chance to really hook into my channel. But I wanted to show everyone our audience, right? So our most views, these are our default current audiences. It gives you an idea that this audience for myself is aiming to build credible and professional presence through YouTube, gain verification, and produce high quality content, very on brand. So it helps you define what your audience is. And then because it understands your current audience, you can either make content for them or it'll help you come up with ideas for your target audience. Danielle, I think I did a really quick overview there. Did I miss anything? Nailed it. Good. We love to hear it. So,
gold star for you, Andre.
With that, some of these ideas, I went to my most engaged audience. So these are the people, and keep me honest here, Danielle, these are the people who are watching the most, correct?
Most engaged. Actually, those are the ones who comment the most. The most engaged, they comment, they leave, they chat, they're engaged. They're watching and engaging. They're commenting.
So it's even broader than what I mentioned there.
Yeah,
absolutely. Great. So with that, we went from video ideas. So looking here, we were looking at different ideas to just kind of, put things that make sense for my audience. If none of these make sense, I can click more video ideas where it will just redo that for me. And so it's really exciting just to take a look at, how the tool works. I see Neil's in the house. I see K&J Lumbers that's running. I see we have a lot of people here. We have Sarah Dawn Designs. Great to see you. We have Omnitech. Just wanted to give some shout outs to the chat. So
I feel like we're value for money Nick Nimmin channel at the moment.
So one thing is, as you see, since I did more video ideas and it refreshed, these are actually way better for my personal channel than before. And that just goes into using the tool a little more. It'll give you,
Yeah.
better information.
It's like a lot of things. The more TubeSpanner can learn about your channel, what you want, the better the results are going to be. And everybody who's using it very quickly finds that it's them. It becomes an assistant for them. It just sits there and assists.
So looking here, these titles, if I like them, unlocking the secret to YouTube success, top tips for aspiring creators, how to master SEO and boost your channel views, YouTube analytics decoded, making sense of your data. I actually really like this title. And
let's go and workshop it then. So we've briefly, I know we're recapping you. Sorry for the guys who were in early, but there's a big bunch of joins, so it's worth recapping again. So what you got is the working title. That's not necessarily the title the video is going to be, but it's an idea. It's a starter. The brief is just a quick note on what the video is going to be about. And then you've got the method is the value. What's that? We may perhaps value is a better label for this. We may do a quick dev change there. But that's what's the value? What's the audience going to get from it? It's very clear. You'll have heard this 1,000 times, or if you haven't, write it down. The value proposition. This is why people are going to watch your video. It's essential that there's clear value. So by getting all these things together, what it's called, how are you going to make it, and what it offers.
And because of that, and I like how it streamlines where I can see what the idea is, I can dive deeper, right? So because I like this title, I actually think it's pretty good to start. But let's say I want more titles from this idea. We're going to click on that, and it's going to, from that initial idea, build to it. And then we can go deeper. And the cool thing about this is it's loading is we are, getting really a better sense of what I like as a creator. The tool is learning that, and then it can use those two things together to really give me better ideas. So we started with, YouTube analytics decoded. I kind of like a beginner's guide. Mastering YouTube analytics, turn data into success. I really like that one. And so one thing as we are going along here, this is a newer tool for us. We're always looking for feedback. If you guys have suggestions, ideas, let us know either in the live stream or the comments. As I'm thinking of here, we got feedback recently that we are working on where I think having a little system to be like, I really like this idea, or save it for later right here, just like a heart or a thumbs up or even a thumbs down if we don't. So those are things we're working on. But if you have ideas like that and you're watching, please let us know. And the chat is going by fast. And also, chat, if you have an idea that you would like us to explore here, if you're watching this replay, we do similar things here, so don't think we won't. Let us know.
Well, Nick has nailed it there. Colons, by the way. I don't mind some colons, but there's quite a few colons that come into the titles here. We need to. Those are people are. I mean, frustratingly, I use colons and semicolons in my writing all the time, and now people think that I'm an AI. I am human. But because I use colons and semicolons, it looks like an AI. So we probably need to reduce those somewhat. Good job, Nick.
And as we go through, the good thing is, you can change that in the home run suite. So yes, it's here now, but that's something we could change. Now, let's say I'm not really good at script writing and I'm trying to get better. I could generate a script and it'll help me get started. Or I can go into the home run suite of tools, which if I click home run now, we're going to start...
While that's loading, just to say, we've also added a shot list on how to record that video, your camera angles, your lighting setup. Don't look at my lights as an example, by the way, because it's right here. But so we've also got a shooting list that goes with your script now.
Yes.
New features. If you haven't used the script tool for a while, check it out. It's been beefed up.
Yes. And as we are going through here, one thing I want to note is we do have this, we have the colon. And so if I want to get rid of it, what I actually use is I use this. But the problem is YouTube, AI trains on YouTube titles and our writings. So things that we used to use without issue now are getting accused of AI. So it's that fun full circle of where it was trained from. I see Sarah Dawn Design says, yes, I use end dashes and semicolon in my writing, and people get mad now.
I'm like, it's English. Okay.
So we have my new little line instead of my colon. And so we're just going to let it roll. So as this is rolling, why don't we kind of go into what the score is looking at?
Yes. So then first things first, don't get too hung up on the score. It's an indication. A good title should be around 70% and above. That's going to be, sometimes it's better to just put stuff out there and see. But if you really want to get a banger, then you can keep tuning it. But once you get into that sort of excellent range, we've actually got a few more. We've got home run above that. There's a couple of, we might want to tune this a little bit, but once you get into that good range, you're good. Because don't forget, you've also got your thumbnail. And you shouldn't take a thumbnail or a title in isolation. The title and the thumbnail should match up. They should. So, for example, I use this one all the time. If you put in "this is not yellow," even in TubeSpanner, it'll say, "No, not very good, mate." But if you put something that's very, very yellow for your thumbnail, then that's building your compelling element. That's what I mean. It is, because I'm looking at a yellow picture. So you combine the two, and you get a good result. All we're looking at here is just the text itself. Text is always backed up by a good thumbnail, but for this, the better the thumbnail, the better the text, the better.
And Nick says I'd lose the bar. That was just a Nick. I said I was doing that for just a visual difference of how you can change the title. I wouldn't actually use it.
He's just got a medal, isn't he? Do you want to join in, Nick? Do you want to jump on? Do you want to come in?
So yes, I also, but it was just again for an example of showing how you could change it. Also, Urban Van Life Neil mentions AI gets blamed for everything now. You can't get away. I had a video from 2016 where people were like, "Oh, he used AI here." I'm like, "Where?"
I know.
So you'd be surprised.
Typing mistakes and spelling errors just to not to look like AI,
just to feel something. As we look here, we see kind of what Danielle mentioned there. We have lets you use 100 characters, gives you a little bit more. Aiming for the excellent is really good advice there.
Yeah.
That would not be the first time I've been accused of that. I just have a high words per minute. Now, as I look here, title length, it says 7 words. Can we kind of go into what this is looking for?
So one of the things we're trying to do here is not just as a sanity check, you put it in, you're excellent, you're fine. But it's also really good to know why is a title good. Like when you start, and we're going down a rabbit hole here, but when you start doing wine tasting or appreciating art or listening to hi-fi, and you start to understand why you like that taste, or why. So this is the why this is a good title. So it helps you save time, because out of the box, your own internal box. Why am I saying out of the box? That makes no sense. But what it means is you will instinctively know what makes a good title. Now, never guarantee. Nothing's guaranteed. You might get 100% score and still get a bad performing video. And as we go down this, you're going to see the outliers, the why it might not work. So we always want to balance that out. But it's so that you can understand what you're looking for. A compelling element in particular, this doesn't really have one. There's no wow factor. It's very dry. So this is where, you might want to say, "Oh my God, amazeballs, yeah!" But it makes it compelling. But sometimes that your audience don't want that. So this is always a balance.
Yeah, and it is dry, but sometimes that dryness or that straightforwardness could really matter for the audience, right? So mastering YouTube analytics, turn data into success. It could be as simple as fast or easily.
That's literally that, and sometimes that's all you have to do, because that's now compelling. It's like, oh, hang on, this isn't just doing it. This is doing it fast.
It's doing it easily.
This is more compelling now.
And again, it doesn't guarantee just because I add one word that the score is going to skyrocket, but it just gives you a better idea. And it did go up 5%, right? So it's still excellent. And again, it's those little tweaks. It's still average, because I would say easily. When it comes, yes, it's great to do things easily, but it doesn't necessarily gonna grip a lot of folks. Some people might react better to quickly or fast or like a pro, So maybe that's a different
words
one.
in there, like analytics, which is, it's a technical word, so that'll lose you a few points on clarity. Now, chances are your audience literally want YouTube analytics, but if you think of somebody that has no idea what YouTube analytics are. Maybe you just want to say reading your YouTube dashboard for fast success. Something. It depends on who your audience are, and that'll make it more. It'll improve your clarity and readability because you're using less technical terms there.
Yeah. And I added like a pro, and it actually was the same score as that easily. So, you can try this out yourself. Like we said earlier, please let us know ideas that you'd like us to explore live. That's kind of what we're here to do. But yeah, I think, I really like this read because, like, obviously you want your title to score happy, not necessarily negative, right? So the compelling element is average. We're in the yellow, so maybe we be a little cautious of how we look at it, but it's all good. But clarity and readability is in the green, which this overall gives us this excellent score. Now let's explain Lextronics. What is this if people have never seen it?
So Lexatronics, it just breaks down what you want here is a pretty good balance of things. It just covers it's a sentence, it's a title, it's a headline. It just flows, and English is always made up of multiple elements and components. So you can see that you're hitting. That's not bad actually. That's about right. You want to see a nice, colorful, fruity little circle going on there. So it's a very quick visual way to say, yeah, you're covering a lot of, you're ticking a lot of boxes there.
We have a question in chat, and I'd love to take it. Are tags still relevant on your videos? Tags are built to basically support your title and your description. YouTube themselves say they don't matter as much as they used to, so they're still relevant as in if you can use them for misspellings or things that other people might find your video by searching for, but otherwise they play a very minimal role. And the more important thing to nail, and it's always kind of been this, has been your title, because tags support your title and your description. So hopefully that helps answer that question.
Yeah, tags used to be huge. I think I personally still use them for completeness, but if you didn't, I don't think that isn't going to be the reason why you succeed or fail.
Yeah. Now, we do have more suggestions, right? So if you are not in a live stream like we are now, and you're like, hey, what can I do to get this better? We actually have suggestions for you, right? So add a question format. So are you ready to unlock success with YouTube analytics? Maybe this makes sense in a YouTube short. Maybe this makes sense in a different format. Include a specific benefit like boost your channel. I wouldn't necessarily use this wording, but that might make sense. Boost your channel performance might make sense for you. Consider adding a time frame in 30 days.
These are necessarily right or wrong. They're just
correct.
Okay, you what you're doing. You're literally workshopping it. You're trying out different things.
Yeah, and it's a matter of taste, and so that's the cool thing, right? I don't think for today I'm going to use any of the suggestions. Not that I haven't before, but it's just for this. I think I'm actually pretty happy with what we got. Lextronics, again, we have another breakdown of it, mastering, and it breaks down each word. Gives us a little bit of, clarity. Then we have title length. And the reason this is important is because YouTube titles, they get cut off after, 70 characters. So 10 words, 62 characters is really good.
No, that's they started to see the also consider points coming here in as well now. So this is where, okay, this is it's a strong score, but but also keep this in mind, because something you'll see a lot in things on like Reddit saying, I scored 100%, but my video didn't do very well. These tools suck. This is giving you this is a great score, but you need to consider this as well.
And the thing about a title is sometimes the title's working. And a lot of times you see a title working in impressions. So the title might be working, but views are based on not only the title, but the thumbnail, the packaging, the first seconds, how you do everything. So when people are like, well, the title didn't work, I'm like, well, what are the impressions? Because a lot of times what I'll see is, they'll get thousands of impressions, but the views are much less because they didn't, with the packaging of everything, get people to click through, right? So this is a really good also consider, and it just gives us a chance to talk about that next step. I do like how we have readability and clarity. It's interesting because, I saw that Urban Van Life was talking about, he struggles with dyslexia on his videos there, right? And like about getting the stuff right, and is it clear and is it legible? Like, I think having readability and clarity is important, especially not only for yourself and for YouTube, but for your audience too. So I really like that that's something we consider. We see here, while the score is relatively high, the effectiveness of the title might decrease if the target audience is unfamiliar with
Ah,
YouTube analytics or if the
that,
promise of success seems too generic.
that's what I was saying earlier about how that's a concept that the audience might not understand. And that's why you lost a little bit there. That's literally what I said. So that's a bit of sanity there. It shows that it's picking up the right things.
All right. Moving forward, we have title sentiments where we have, positive words, neutral words. We have compelling elements, which is average. So while the title is attractive to individuals interested in analytics or YouTube success, it may not catch attention for more casual viewers. And I think this also, I love how it goes title category educational. One thing I want to mention is this is all using an SEO focus. And I want us to go full screen here because this is so important. A lot of times people are like, yeah, SEO, that's great. I know search. I call SEO is like the S&P 500 in the stocks. It is a safe stock. It'll give you great returns, but it is not exactly exciting. However, what about, the homepage and suggested and browse? Well, we have the difference between discovery and SEO, and we were actually this whole time in the discovery optimizer, right?
Yes.
So why don't we explain the difference between discovery optimizer and search?
Yeah. So the some people, most people now will find success in the discovery, which is when you're watching YouTube, you finish watching a video, it's the next video that pops up. You haven't searched for anything. You're just going on recommendations. You found a niche that you like. You're watching car videos or knitting videos, and another one pops up. So the whole point of the Discovery Optimizer tab is to make titles which target the discovery page. So it's how people will organically find you, rather how YouTube will organically suggest you, how people discover you. Now, the Search Explorer, that's really targeted towards product reviews, businesses. So people will actually be searching for that. That's to come up in the search. It's a very different way of finding content. And this is
Yeah.
for, you'd often use this for camera review or best knitting patterns 2025. So this is very specific for things that'll turn up in search.
Yeah. And again, before it was more for homepage suggested and browse. Now Search Explorer, as the name, is more for that's people exploring through search. So we might get a different score because this title to me feels more SEO focused, at least in my head. And so it's a little lower actually, because if we look here, the compelling element for search versus, optimizing for discovery is different, right? So mastering YouTube analytics, turn data into success. Maybe instead of like a pro, it would be something more like step by step guide, right? That might make more sense for someone who is looking from a traditional SEO point of view. And as we click here, we'll run through. Now, the good thing about this is the other stuff that we have. So the Lexotronics, everything we just talked about in Discovery Optimizer is still here, correct?
Yes.
So as that is loading, I think it's just a really good time to, take a look at all the things that offers. And if you were watching, like I said, this is where you can follow along with yourself. You can download the browser extension in the description down below. Get started today. It is a really great opportunity. And one thing I have to give shout outs to you, Danielle, and the dev team is how quickly you take feedback, and you take it very seriously.
We do. I think I just spotted a broken image as you scroll down, so boo for that. But there you go. We changed the thumbnail. We had some feedback, and it looks like the new thumbnail hasn't uploaded correctly. But we try to take on board all the suggestions and get things done as quickly as possible. We move fast and break things, but sometimes we break things. But yeah, generally we move fast.
And look, that's not a bad place to be. And as I see here, like maybe instead of mastering, it should be master YouTube analytics, turn data into success step by step guide. Got rid of the mastering. We could just call it master. We could also just say YouTube analytics, turn data into success. Like there's a lot of ways we could play with this title, and we're playing with it, live. And
Yeah. And don't forget SEO. This is why this is a bit slower than the discovery one, because one of the things that this does is actually look at the competition as well. So it goes and analyzes what else is out there in search and how you're likely to rank against them. It's a very powerful tool, and I think if you were to use some other SEO tools, they're quite a lot more expensive than we are, and we give at least as good results. So it's a yes, but it does take a bit longer to do an SEO lookup because we are
Well, and
doing
again, to your point, it's scanning.
yeah.
I jokingly call it the tube scanner screen, where it's like literally scanning. So, as it is doing that, though, I do think it's important to note that a lot of what you see today, we're taking your feedback seriously. It goes into making this better. And this one actually went a little
Good.
better by changing mastering just to master, right? And it's
Yes.
those little tweaks that can make a difference.
Well, use the, and this is where master and mastering. Master is faster to read. You get on to the rest. It's only a fraction of a second, but it's enough to nudge that score up. How quickly does that title convey something to the audience?
And it really does. And here's maybe where for SEO, if you're like, yeah, I'm not sure how compelling it is, the suggestions. So you can click on them, right? Use a keyword that has an increasing trend line, right? So consider trending topics like data-driven YouTube growth or step-by-step analytics mystery or mastery, right? There's different ways we could do this. We can see the keyword quality is moderate, using variations like YouTube data strategies can broaden reach. Also consider exploring phrases like performance analytics for deeper audience engagement. Gives you a different kind of viewpoint, but it's telling us our title keyword, YouTube analytics, is excellent. Turn data into success is pretty high. And it's letting us know just some of the things we can keep in mind.
Those media.
And
So if you're familiar with like the concept of long tail and medium tail, that's putting little phrases together. So whereas a lot of people would just do a thing called keyword stuffing, where they just do single words, that's
which is
dead.
against YouTube terms of service.
Yeah, do not do that. But if you're making it a sentence, something that's meaningful, as you saw there, those work quite nicely. So it's not quite a long tail, but it's a medium tail. It's a phrase that people are likely to be looking for.
Yeah. And once you have your title that you like, it's time to turn it into a home run. So to do that, we click on home run and you notice it copies it over. Now, one thing to note is this is based on data points, right? And maybe we can explain how this screen kind of runs and how it works.
So what
Obviously,
this will
there's
now
nothing
do,
here.
yes, what this will now do is it will look for a niche. It'll look at this, find the niche for it, and then it'll look at what else is out there that's done well, and it'll try and find a video that you can see this is done very, very well. You can either be inspired by it, or think, okay, this did very well. How can I do my own version of this? How can I do a video which, because sometimes you can see, oh, this is my idea and this is tanked. Maybe I should try something else. And this gives you the opportunity to see what other channels have done and kind of do a litmus test. Does it make sense? Was this a good idea? And if so, has anybody else done it? Because you may want to avoid doing what somebody else has done. But sometimes, there are 100 videos on how to wash your windows. So maybe you just want to do another one and put your own spin on it, So it's a way of looking at what already exists out there.
And I think that's a good point. There might be videos that exist out there, but it's also important to note that just because other people have covered something doesn't mean your unique point of view isn't valid. And sometimes it's your unique point of view, which is how people finally get the message, right? And on average, it takes about 7 times for a human to hear something for it to stick. So maybe your video is one of those 7 times that people need, right? And so
and there's a reason why trending topics exist. It's because lots of people are doing videos on a subject. So what Home Run is doing is giving the opportunity to do your own excellent version of a trending topic, of a popular video.
yeah, and I mean, we see YouTube does this by when they tell you in analytics your audience also watches. That's their kind of version of it, but ours is a little more direct in terms of, trying to show you why you're doing this. And so once you have your title and you can save it, you can then, you don't have to do it right now. That's another thing I want to make sure that we say here, but as we're looking at the tool, a lot has changed. So, Danielle, we spent a good time here on just this portion, but let's also look at some other improvements that have happened to the tool, right? So for example, the planner, like today is the 29th, you can now schedule a post right within to your different social medias. Now, it's again zoomed in so much for the demo purposes. When you use it yourself, it won't be as zoomed in. We've done quite a bit to really work on a lot of what the tools offer. If you're brand new and you're like, hey, where do I even get started? There's a toolbox that gives you a great look of everything you're using. And I'm showing you other sections because I wanted to show you that you might notice in home run, as you click away, look at that, it kept my title. So you can still use the tool. Now, if you refresh the page, and keep me honest, it might lose it because
Yes, it probably will. The token that it's based on is on the current session, so those tabs will stay open in the background.
But you can still explore as you're, using one tool within home run. If you want to go at your, look at your achievements, maybe you want to, look at different things. You want to look at all these different options. This
We've
is
got
really
over
great.
100 tools. There are over 100 tools in TubeSpanner, and we haven't really started to promote the tool yet. But there's people keep thinking, "I didn't know you did this," and it's like, yeah. That's where and that's just one feature of TubeSpanner thing comes from. We've got so many features in TubeSpanner, and one price. That's
Well, technically two. We have two different versions, so let's be sure we're being
all the features for if you can pay just buy one tool.
Yes. And so with that, we've covered a lot today, and we just wanted to say thank you everyone who joined us live. Thank you, Nick Nimmin, for the raid. You can get that discount if you're watching in the description down below. Danielle, any final words?
Install TubeSpanner.
There you go. Thank you everyone, and we hope you have a great one. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Nick.